Hi guys, in this video we'll be looking at the socio-cultural impact of tourism. Okay, now first we're going to look at what is socio-cultural impact. Now, the socio-cultural impacts of tourism are the effects on host communities of direct and indirect relations with tourists and of interaction with the tourist industry. All right, now the Caribbean is one of the world's top tourist destinations, which for most people is a success story. Others, they fear that, it shows an over reliance and over dependence on only one sector of an economy. Now, others are concerned that the cultures, values, and beliefs of millions of tourists are in direct conflict with those traditionally held by Caribbean citizens. Now, tourism can certainly affect the areas of the Caribbean life, right? Now, for those who don't believe that tourism actually can affect persons within the Caribbean life, then they are wrong. Okay? So right now we're going to go deeper into this, and we're going to look at the areas of the Caribbean tourism can affect. All right. So first up, we have land. Right. All right. For those who don't know what land is, we're going to look at what it is. Now, it's an area of the Earth's solid surface that is owned by someone. All right. In most cases. Now, tourism is an industry with a very visible presence. Right. Much of it involves the creation of physical entities such as hotels and resorts. Now, these can adversely affect local residents, and this would be through raising land prices, causing changes of land use, spoiling natural beauty, and last but not least, removing certain areas such as beaches from public access. Right? So now you've seen where land is concerned, how tourism affects land. All right, moving right ahead. So we're going to look next at cultural exchange, right? What do we mean by cultural exchange? All right, cultural exchange. Tourists who visit a country return home, transfer experiences, information, and memories of places they have visited. Now, the people they met, the cultures, customs, and beauties they have seen also, right? Now, tourism offers an unrivaled opportunity for some people from different cultures to meet and interact. Such interactions mean persons can exchange views and ideas, and they create potential for ideas, and they create mutual understanding and respect. Now, they can also, of course, lead to a clash of cultures, right? So, all right, that's it for cultural exchange. Now, we're going to move on to visitors' perception and what this means, right? Now, based on my understanding, this would mean the idea of how his or her destination is based on advertisement or others' experience, right? Now, visitors' perception of Caribbean societies begin to form long before they arrive in the region. Now, potential visitors' first insights come from marketing and promotional material available through agents and via the internet, right? Now, promotional material obviously present a positive image, right? Emphasizing the beauty, tranquility, peacefulness, and friendliness that visitors can encounter should they visit at a destination. Now, the internet, on the other hand, also allows for those who have actually visited to report on their experiences, and there's no obligation on their part to present a particularly positive view. Now, if they have unpleasant experiences, they're likely to say so. Now, those engaged in tourist promotion can emphasize the positive aspect of a visit, but local residents have to make sure that this is what tourists actually experience, right? which in some cases they don't care what tourists think if they're on the negative side, right? So that the experience for the tourists can be, you know, very unpleasant, and therefore they will post other things on the internet saying that this destination was not all that, it was not this, it was not that. All right, so it is up to what they were presented when they come to the destination. All right, so moving on to relationships between resident, visitors, and returning nationals. Now, these are people who would meet, you know, all at one place unintentionally, and in the process learn about each other's cultural background. The feedback can be negative or positive. What do we mean by this? Now, the visitors, tourists, and residents have many opportunities to meet in streets, shopping malls, beaches, sporting venues, hotels, restaurants, bars, and entertainment facilities. All right, you name it. Now, all of these meetings are chances for the relationship between the different groups to be influenced in one way or another. Now, relationships can be positively influenced if there is openness, honesty, acceptance, and mutual respect. Now, there's no telling what people will do. Now, there may be conflict or negativity if visitors are one perceived to be receiving more privileges that are denied to residents. For example, access to certain beaches or resort area. Resident can be outraged about that, and therefore, not a positive, meeting right there. Now, secondly, they can show lack of respect for local culture and mores. Third, engage in socially unacceptable behavior. And fourth, they can receive poor standards. That's from the tourist end. They can receive poor standard of service, and therefore it can cause an unfavorable, meeting or negativity. Anyway, fifth, they're sold substandard goods through high prices, and that's from the tourist part. And sixth, they can be attacked or robbed or harassed, so that will, bring a negative feedback. All right, so that's from whichever end. All right, so now these situations may be avoided if visitors remain inside hotels, right, or all-inclusive resorts. But this means that opportunities for cultural exchange are missed if they stay in the hotel. They need to go out and meet and greet people. Now, relations can be strained if the behavior, language, dress, and perceived values of visitors are unwelcome. Now, while some aspects may be rightfully be felt to be unacceptable, there's also a need for residents to recognize and tolerate some differences between cultures, right? Not everybody is going to be the same. Now, returning nationals, on the other hand, can sometimes be intensive or, insensitive and criticize standards in their native country and constantly make unfavorable comparison with their adopted country. Like, I've been living in the US for over 30 years now, and it is much better than Jamaica. I've seen it, so I can say it. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, guys. All right. So moving ahead, we're going to be looking at citizens' attitude to tourism next, right? All right. Now, what do we mean by this? Now, this means how citizens react to tourism, whether the reaction be negative or positive. Now, a range of attitudes towards tourism exists among the residents of Caribbean countries. Some may be enthusiastic about the industry, while some indifferent and some quite negative and antagonistic, right? Now, these attitudes will be influenced by an individual's perception of the benefit the industry brings to the country and by their own experiences. Now, persons who are enthusiastic are usually those who see that tourism has brought economic gains to their country, that have produced modernization, improvements to infrastructures, and the development of new technologies. Now, they see that improvements such as airports, highways, modern medical facilities, upgraded sewage system and telecommunication system benefits not only the tourism industry but are also available to residents, and therefore benefits the whole country, right? Now, other persons likely to be enthusiastic about tourism are those employed in the tourism industry. Now, especially those directly employed, for example, in a hotel, right? So they will see the benefits and therefore they'll see it from a positive view. Now, who feels it and who sees this from a negative view are persons who feel that they do not benefit from tourism directly, maybe indifferent towards the industry, while those who feel that they're actually suffering as a result of the industry will be negative, right? Now, negative views of tourism can come from a perception that a government gives a greater priority to the needs of tourists than to those of local residents. Now, individuals may be, they may have experienced some direct negative effects, such as rise in the price of land, the displacement of their family, or the loss of land to resort development. And if residents feel a lack of respect, or worse still, experience unacceptable behavior or treatment from tourists, this will also have a negative influence on their attitude towards the whole industry, right? So they won't see where it benefits them if these are the things they're receiving, right? So they're always sit in a negative light if that's the case. Now, the development of like prepaid package holidays where tourists spend most of their times and money with a resort and use dedicated transport for any traveling they do, it may lead to operators of smaller hotels, independent restaurants, and transport companies feeling that they do not have a fair amount of access to the potential tourism market because it's, they're giving they're not given the opportunity they need to provide these facilities, or right, they're not given the opportunity because all the big hotels take away all the jobs. Anyway, moving right ahead. So next we're going to look at artistic expression and traditional culture. All right, guys, I'm a bit tired. Sorry. All right. So we're going to look what this is. Now, any form of art and traditional monuments being used as tourist attraction. That's what we mean by artistic expression and traditional culture. Now, people also have different views on the way in which tourism influences artistic expression and traditional culture. Now, tourists often travel in order to experience aspects of unfamiliar culture, such as local customs, art paintings, sculpture, music, dance, and performance, as well as being drawn to national, regional festivals, right? Now, cultural exchange has resulted in many elements of Caribbean culture now being known worldwide. Now, from musical forms such as calypso and reggae through to the food, the seasoning, for some then, tourism has brought about revitalization of these artistic and cultural expression. Now, others are of the opinion that artists and craftspeople cater too much for the tourism market, now creating works that they believe tourists will buy rather than ones that truly reflect their ideas and creativity. So, so therefore, what they really mean by, or what we really mean by this is they're basically saying that persons are creating some things that don't even really look good. You understand? It doesn't even really look good, and they create it because that's what tourists like, instead of just showing their artistic talent. That's what they're saying, right? Now, some also fear that performance groups can take serious aspect of local culture and trivialize them as merely entertainment for tourists, right? Now, anyway, that's it for artistic expression and traditional culture. Now, last but not least, we're going to look at government policies. And this means a plan or course of action as of a government, political party, or business intended to influence and determine decisions, actions on other matters. Right? So, certain government policies can influence residents' attitudes towards tourism. All right, so a particularly important area is access to beaches, right? So this is just one of them. Now, in some countries, resort owners are allowed to restrict access to beaches, effectively making them private. Now, this is unacceptable to some citizens of those countries who see the beaches as public areas to which everyone should have access, right? They do that a lot in Jamaica. I'm not sure about other Caribbean countries, but they do that a lot in Jamaica, right? Now, residents are also likely to feel negatively about any hotels that are only available to non-citizens. Now, policies regarding the sales of land to non-nationals will also influence some citizens' attitudes, since they may perceive that any land is part of their country and should not be sold to foreign individuals or organizations. And I don't see anything wrong with that. But guys, that's it for my video today. Thanks for watching. And guys, if you like, you can give it a thumbs up. If it was informative to you, you can share it to other persons doing the same subject, right? And if you have any comment, anything at all that you didn't hear and you'd like more information on, you can always leave it down in the comment section. Comment, right? Let me know your thoughts. And for all my subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you, guys. If you're going to unsubscribe at any time because you're through with this subject, share the video to other persons who it can benefit. All right, thank you. Bye.